Good morning, everybody. Shefa Brucha V'Atzluchu, Moadim L'Simcha, Hagim U'Zmanim L'Sason. We are standing right in front of the ending of Pesach, and in this time that's going to be the highlight of the whole Yom Tov. We started going out of Egypt on the first night, and then we are going to have now Shirat Hayam, when the sea is opening in front of Am Yisrael, and they're going in the land inside the sea, and the water is a wall from right and from left. Shirat Hayam. And this procedure is connected to Sfirat HaOmer, that which we started on the second night of Pesach, and we are now going on, and we're getting to Shirat Hayam, to the sea. And what's happening here is very interesting, and this is something we have to learn about. But before this, I want to say a few words about our attitude and our behavior, which we are learning in Pesach, and to take this with us to the whole year around. And this is the first thing, one of the main issues of the Seder night of Pesach and the whole year, is to pass the message to the next generation. How do you do this? So the Haggadah told us you have 4 different kinds of people, or if you take characteristic, yes, you have the clever one, the wise one, you have the naive one, you have the one who doesn't know how to ask, and you have the evil one, the Rasha. And we have to understand that the Rasha, we are also looking for the way to approach him and to make the good out of it, and to let him know and understand that we care. He is there with us, and we have also to keep in mind that we are not only dealing with the tzaddik, we're also dealing with the Rasha. And what does it mean, Rasha? And there is a beautiful story that I told this week about this guy, the family, and they had one son, and he was going in the wrong way, and it was really terrible. It was getting, you couldn't live with him in the house. He was going against everything, against religion, against everything. And really, it was impossible to live with him. It got to the point that he left house, and nobody was disappointed. Both sides were quite happy, because it was impossible to live with him. And for him, it was impossible to live with them. And he left, and he went somewhere. And then they got an invitation for a wedding. He's getting married, and I didn't know what to do. Thinking about it, he says, impossible. We're not going to go to a wedding that he's going to marry who knows who. Definitely not religion, going against religion. And who knows what kind of wedding it's going to be. And they didn't want to be a part of a wedding like this. So they decided not to go. 5 years later, they get a phone call from the son. Abba and Ima, I want you to come on Shabbos. We're having a Brit. We got a son, and on Shabbos there is the Brit. Brit? What Brit? What? Is this the only son? Says, no, I've got also 2 daughters, and now I've got a son, and there is a Brit, and I want you to come and celebrate with us. They didn't know what to do. So they went to the Rabbi Elyashiv Zecher Tzadik Livracha, and he asked him, says, what should I do? You know what the Rabbi Elyashiv said? You're going to go. Says, how can I go? I don't know. He's not eating kosher. I don't know what's going to be there, how he keeps Shabbos. How it says, no problem. You take with you food for Shabbos, whatever you need, and you go. Comes back home, tells his wife, the Rav has gesagt, we have to go. The Rav said, we have to go. Okay. So they're going to come to this yishuv, this village up north, I think, or somewhere, and they're looking for, says Yitzchak, that's the son, Yitzchak Itche. Where does Itche live? Yitzchak says, yeah, the rabbi lives at the end of the street, left and right. Says, no, not the rabbi, Itche. Okay, they're going to ask somebody else. And the guy with the tractor says, what are you looking for? He says, I'm looking for Yitzchak Itche. Itche, oh, the rabbi. He says, again, the rabbi, what do you want from me? He says, go, follow me. And he's going with the tractor slowly, and he leads them and says, here, see, this is the door. They go see this house, and they don't know what to do. You didn't come to the Rebbe, we come to eat you. So what can they do? They knock on the door. The door is opened. There's this guy with a beard and payas and sits outside, says, Abba, Ima, and he's hugging them. Oh, how are you? I'm so glad you came. Eat you. What happened? They're going in, and they see this is a Jewish home. A wall full with books, a whole library of holy books, Sifrei Kodesh. And then they see the wife, wow, with a kisui rosh, with a very religious wife, very nice. And the children, wow, the daughters, and the table is ready for Shabbos with all the challahs, with all the good stuff and everything. I don't know what. Didn't end with this. Like before, when Shabbos came in, came a group of people. Rabbi, come. And they escorted them to the shul. They come to the synagogue, and the father says his son is going and sits on the seat of the rabbi. What's happening? Between Mincha, between I think Maya or even Kabbalat Shabbat, he gets up and he gives a drasha. Wow, what a beautiful drasha! And everybody's looking and listening. The father doesn't know what's going on here. They're coming back home, and they singing, and they do Shalom Zochar, and everybody's coming. The whole village comes to the rabbi, and they sit, and they drink, and they dance, and they sing, and says Rushos. After father, after everybody went home, comes to, you must tell me what's happening here. What happened? So the son tells him, we left Bnei Brak, and we went up, I found a girl, Baruch Hashem, I got married, and we went to this moshav. We didn't feel so comfortable in the beginning there. But then, was a funny thing was happening on Erev Shabbos. There was a group of people that were doing tshuva in this village, starting to do tshuva. They came knocking on my door and asking me, what should we do with if we want to hit something on Shabbos? Well, how should we behave? Says, what do you want from me? I'm not religious. No, we know that you're from Bnei Brak, so even if you're not religious, you must know what to do. Didn't know what to tell me. He said, you know what? Let me check. Come to me tomorrow morning. And he gets that to the books that he brought from home, and he finds a halacha book, Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. I don't remember what it was. Anyway, he's opening and checking. In the morning they came, and he gave them an answer. And now it was starting every time they came, and then ask him another answer. And then they ask him, hey, can you speak in synagogue to do a drasha or a small talk or whatever? Then they even ask his wife, and he told his wife what to say and what to do. They sat together. And, while this procedure is going on, he was asking a rabbi what to do here, what to do there. And he became a mashgiach of the badatz. And starting, and he did tshuva. And he was crowned as the rabbi of the village. That's the way they behaved to him. After the morning, they woke up, went to shul, and again they gave a drusha. They had the brit. So Motzei Shabbos, they go home. Sunday morning, he goes to Rabbi. I think it was who was it? Yashiv? No, sorry. I think it was Steinman. Whatever. And he comes to him and says, Rabbi, it's unbelievable. We don't know what happened here. Wow. He says, I want to tell you what happened here. And says, when he say, thank you that you told us to go. What? It's unbelievable. He says, he was not appreciated at all. All the other children that you had were very clever, they were successful, and he was not appreciated. And he felt neglected. And that's what got him to go out of the religion and go and fight against it, and then he left home. But now, getting to this place, he was so appreciated because they called him rabbi. They called him rabbi, he became a rabbi. And it's such a big lesson to understand and realize the way we behave, the way we act, the way we behave to our family. And even if sometimes one of the family leaves the passage, he goes on a wrong way. Always, and this is something I talked about this morning in V'ten Chelkeinu, What is the difference between chametz and matzah? Chametz and matzah, the mem and the tzaddik are the same. There is one letter that makes the difference. It's the chet in the chametz, and in the matzah it's the hay. And now look, what is the difference between the chet and the hay? The chet is closed completely from up, from two sides, and an opening is down. The hay is also got surrounded by three walls above, two sides, but the hay's got a gap between the top and the third wall. So in other words, the difference between chametz and matzah is something very small, but it's an opening to the left that means, and this is unbelievable, Rosh Lagados writes, it means that like the chet is closed down, shut down, it goes down, Yetzer Hara, that's finished, doomed, you go to hell, you finished. That's the chet, a sin. You're in the hands of the sin. On the other side, the hay is the same, but there is a small gap, and this gap you can always go out and elevate yourself. And this is, by the way, not only for the spiritual world, it's also for the material, the normal world. For example, if you have a row with somebody, so if you walk from emotion, and this is now an unbelievable thing, think about it. The chametz, we say, is proud, ga'ava, and like you're full with yourself. And the matzah is humbleness, anava. Now, how do you connect with God? How do you connect with people? From ga'ava, when you're proud, pride would not lead you anywhere. From if you are egoistic, and that's what is pride, you're proud of yourself, it will lead you only down. But humbleness, anava, will lead you up. Because from anava, you know how to connect with people. And people love those who are humble. They don't like those who have gava, pride. Now, when I want to have a row with somebody, fire somebody in work, or whatever, I have something. Now, when I'm going to do those things from gava, from emotions, from egoistic point of view, from pride, and I will cut everything. But if I'm clever and I look at things from the point of view of anava, humbleness, I will always leave an opening. This is the matzah. It's humbleness. And this is the hay of the matzah. There is an opening. The opening that goes left, it's always a passageway. It's like, don't burn the bridges. If you burn the bridges, you cannot cross the river anymore. In other words, when you had a row, or you had anything going wrong in business, in life, of course, when you burn the bridge, there is no way back. You cannot go back. You cannot go from one side to the other side again. But if you don't burn the bridge, or if you leave an opening, you can always come back. You can always connect together. So if the Ben Rasha, if you burn the bridges, if you don't leave him any option, you throw him, and you don't want to deal with him, that's the chet. You close yourself, and there is no way to connect. It's only going down. But if you understand the meaning of the matzah, of the hay, and the difference between the hay and the chet, that this leaving an opening, even if now you but you leave an opening. When you leave an opening, if those parents wouldn't have gone to the brit of their son, they will still live separately, not knowing that their son did tshuva and they have grandchildren. They would miss all of this because they burned the bridges, because they didn't leave an opening from gava, from pride. How? This is an unbelievable lesson. to keep ourselves in anava, in humbleness, and then always leave an opening. Yet you can always find a way back. Even in business, you had a row with somebody, but you leave an opening so you can always go and fix things. Something went wrong. So if you cut everything, if you don't leave an opening, and who knows what's going to be tomorrow? Maybe tomorrow you will need this guy. Maybe tomorrow you want to do business with this guy that you burn the bridge with. How can you do now a business with him? You need him sometimes. Who knows? I know it in business. I had a business that for many years I was always stopping, starting. But I never burned the bridges. There was always nice talking. I never said, I'm not going to come back to you. We all know this. So this way, and a lot of times it happened that I needed his stuff. I needed the stuff, the furniture he had. I had a big order. And the only one who had this kind of furniture was this guy. So I had no problem because I didn't burn the bridges. I just stopped buying from him. And now I could go back and buy. And this is also abroad when I do business or something, and sometimes things go wrong and I stop working. I always learn this lesson, that when you burn the bridges, there is no way back. But when you leave a small gap, even a small gap, but there is an opening, you can always connect together. The bridge is there. You didn't burn it. It's a big lesson for life. In all the fields. Of course, in the spiritual field and also in the physical field. Always leave an opening. When you leave an opening, you can always go back. And we all know it. You know, I in my family, I've got, I'm not going to go who it is exactly. They had a row for years. And then one of them died and the other side didn't even come to the Levoya. And it was, if you will hear about what it was, nonsense. But if they would have left an opening, they could go together. They could fix things. This is also the idea of Sfirat HaOmer, that we started on the second day of Pesach. And we started with Korban Seorim. Seorim is food of an animal. And then we go and we build ourselves through Kriyat Yamsuf, which is also a passageway that Be'ezrat Hashem, maybe we'll talk about it again. But to go through this, we have to do the ishtadlut from downstairs, from here. Not only wait for God to do things. This was till tomorrow. God did everything for Am Yisrael. They would, oh, God help us, and He helped them. He got them out of Egypt, did all the 10 plagues and miracles on miracles on miracles. But then when they come and stand in front of the ocean, what is God telling Moshe Rabbeinu? Tell them to go in. Wow, but the ocean it's closed. How can they go in? Tell them to go in. Do the ishtadlut. And when Nachshon ben Aminadav jumps into the water, they come to his neck, and then the water opens. This is the stage of Emunah. This is the building of Emunah from the matzah. This is also the bread of Emunah. Those humbleness and Emunah, those are the things that build you. From those you can raise up and go up, up, up. And that's what happened on Kriyat Yamsuf. And then we go on to the normal life. Sfirat HaOmer is building yourself together with everybody, as a part of everybody. Till we get to Chag HaShavuot, Chag Matan Torah, and then we bring Shtei Lechamim, then we bring bread of wheat. This is a food of human being, of man. In other words, we elevate ourselves from the beastly side to the human side. From the Yetzer Hara, from the Ga'ava, humbleness, and building ourselves and raising our spiritual level up till we get to the level of Matan Torah, we can receive the Torah. And all of this is connected to the difference between Chametz and Matzah. And the difference is what? A small line between the Hay and the Chet. The Chet is closed down. The way is only down. Chas v'sholom. We need the Hay, which is an opening also on the side. And from this opening, from humbleness, we build ourselves. And we learned also not to burn the bridges, not to shut ourselves not to close things. Always leave an opening that you can come back. Always leave an opening, as we saw with this child that left home and eventually did tshuva. And if the Rav didn't tell them to go to the Brit, they wouldn't speak with him till today. So always leave an opening and never burn the bridges. All the best and have a nice Yom Tov.